So there's two major types of promotion and advertising we're going to talk about today. And one is direct response, and the other is brand advertising. And there's a big schism between the two. They reinforce each other, they work together. You need both, but it's important to understand the difference between them. So brand advertising is things like TV ads, radio, podcasts, webinars, content, events, inbound, social media posts. And you've seen it as a consumer, endlessly. You see, hundreds of these messages a day. Brand marketing is what you see all the time with, Geico and Progressive and all the insurance companies and a lot of others. And brand marketing is kind of like exercise. We know that it's very valuable to exercise for 30 minutes a day, at least 5 times a week. And if you do that, the health benefits to you are tremendous. But you can't point to any one day and say that made me healthy. You can't say last Tuesday I ran 5 miles and now I'm healthy. No, it's because you do that day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. And that's what brand marketing is about. It's very hard to pin exactly, what's producing the results for you, but it is producing those results in the same way that exercise does. And the value of a strong brand are many. More people know you, your marketing is more effective, people are more likely to remember you and buy, because the primary goal of brand marketing is to build memories that people, when they're ready to buy in that category, your name will be top of mind. They are more likely to be repeat buyers, as I'll be talking about in a little bit. They are less likely to leave after one bad experience. They are less sensitive to price increases, so you can have higher margins, and so forth. Lots of great advantages to having a strong brand. So there's a real strong imperative to make sure that you don't ignore this. And unfortunately, a lot of people today do, because of direct response, and they see a kind of one-to-one, oh, if we run these kind of direct response campaigns, we get this many leads. And so now we know what our return is, and we're just going to keep doing that. And we're going to ignore that brand stuff because, it isn't as easily measured and it takes too long and so forth. And direct response is things like search ads, email, direct mail, and so forth. And continuing my health analogy, direct response is kind of like getting the COVID vaccination. It solves that one health problem. If you have a tumor that needs to be operated, that operation solves that health problem. It doesn't make you healthy in the long term, but it solves that particular problem that you have that needs to be taken care of, or having a cavity filled, or whatever, example you want to give. So you need both of them. And this is a chart that talks about how they work together. And one of the things about what I'm talking about today is I'm going to be getting into a B2B case study in a few minutes. And as I was saying, if you're doing B2C, you have seen so much B2C marketing in your life, you will be able to, make the analogy and make the connections without that case study, I think, pretty easily. But beyond my personal experience, which, is just a tiny, tiny part of the world, we now have in the last decade many studies that have come out based on the marketing programs at hundreds of companies across thousands of campaigns. And these multiple studies have come to a surprisingly consistent set of conclusions. And this is a chart from one of those studies. And what it found was these yellow jags are short-term direct response campaigns. They tend to have very rational messages like 10% off, download our white paper, sign up for our webinar. And the memory of them degrades very rapidly. People will not remember your direct response campaign 10 minutes after they see the ad. Branding messages tend to be more emotion-based. And remember, I was talking about how important emotion is to buying decisions. They don't have as big an impact in the short term, but they also don't degrade as rapidly. And over time, and this is 2 to 3 years and beyond, they will have a bigger impact on your business than the short-term campaigns do. But they work together. Your short-term campaigns, as you continue 3, 5 years and so forth, will be more successful because of having a stronger brand. The problem for you as a startup is, of course, if you don't get some sales now, you're not going to be around in 3 years. And so you need to be doing these direct response short-term campaigns while putting an appropriate amount of effort towards long-term brand building so that you're not undercutting your growth in the future. And these studies have come out with a recommendation of roughly the brand to direct response split. For B2C companies, 60-40 brand. For B2B mature companies, 50-50. And for startups, a heavier emphasis on direct response and short-term sales with 1/3 brand and 2/3 direct response, moving towards more of that 50-50 as you become more established and secure.